The Desert Tiger Podcast.
Hello, Ambush, and today we are joined by returning, rising Canadian pop singer Olivia Lunny. How's it going today, Olivia?
I'm so good. Thank you for that amazing intro.
Oh, no worries, and no worries at all. And for those who have maybe missed the last time we chatted, last time you came on to discuss your 2020 EP, To the Ones I Love. Today, we're talking about how you have grown from there. You ready to jump on in?
I am. Yeah, I can't believe it's been a year. It went by so quickly.
I completely agree, but I mean, in this year, you've been creating some incredible music, so I am very excited.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
All right, all right. So, of course, as I mentioned, we came out of that last EP, and since then, you've signed with Universal Music Canada, and you began crafting this next chapter of the Olivia Lunny story. So, how exactly did that come together for you?
Yeah, it's been again quite the year. So been writing so much music and started writing this album. I believe it was around November of 2020. I think we're in 2021. My brain's all foggy from the timeline of this past year. And that time is also when we signed with Universal. So it's been just so incredible to have their support, and I'm just so thrilled to be putting out this debut album with them behind it.
Oh, wow. So, this has been just recently, the tail end of 2020, there, that this has all come together then.
It has been, yes.
Wow. Okay. So fairly quick. So my first question is who were you able to get into the studio with? Were these a bunch of songs you already had that you brought in and you were able to evolve and elevate to that next level? Or how did this process of this album sort of come together from there?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of everything. So I guess going back to who I worked with on my EP, this guy named AJ Healy, and I actually worked with him and Sean Frank when I was on the TV show The Launch. So kind of kept that connection going, and going into this debut album, worked with AJ again, and he brought Sean Frank on to do some writing. So the first few songs I actually had most of them written already, and I brought to them, and they helped kind of enhance them and make them a bit more poppy. And then for these other sessions, I worked with some brand new people. On Sad Is You Happy, my first single, I worked with Jensen Vaughn. On Who Could Say No, I worked with Boy Wonder and Yogi the producer, Tally Mandy, some other writers. And on my album single, Dominoes, I got to work with Tommy Brown, which is incredible. So it's been so fun to kind of evolve both the writing process and the music aspect too. So it's a little bit of everything.
All right. Like you say, a little bit of everything, working with some people who you've already worked with, very comfortable with, but also getting to get inside the room, mix it up with some very talented, some very accredited talents as well. Some Grammy nominees and winners inside of that list, I believe.
Yeah, it was honestly just so inspiring to work with those people because obviously they have achieved such success. So it's very motivating and inspiring to just be in the room and see them in their creative process.
Awesome. Awesome. So, of course, I want to dive into, of course, how that creative process helped you to elevate your own. So I want to jump into this first piece of this new chapter that was released with Sad to See You Happy. It's a song that I have been just jamming out to. I love the bass line of it. So take me behind this track.
Thank you. I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah, so I wrote that song with AJ, Sean, and then a guy named Jensen Bond. And he was actually on Zoom. So it was kind of my first Zoom-ish session of this whole kind of quarantine period. So it's definitely different, but grateful that we were still able to connect with him through being together. But yeah, Sad to See You Happy was a kind of post-breakup bop that we decided to write. And it actually wasn't inspired by my experience for once. We kind of just collectively, someone in the group had gone through a breakup, and we are just talking about the commonalities between like seeing someone out and being upset over that, and also wanting to write kind of more like a vibey summer song. So it just came together really nicely over the guitar loop that we kind of just had playing. You hear in like the beginning of the song, we just looped that for hours and wrote the song. But it was a very fun process.
Awesome. And I'm glad that it wasn't one of your experiences this time, but It's definitely one of those very relatable experiences, as you say. So, not just a good tune, but also something that a lot of people can connect to.
For sure. Thank you. Yeah, I think lots of people have been resonating with it, which is always a really fun thing to hear.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So, I want to jump into the more recent single off of this upcoming album as well. Once again, another incredible bop. So, who could say no? Definitely has a little bit more of a confident energy to it. Am I right in that?
Yes, absolutely. I think the goal for this song was to kind of push me out of my comfort zone writing wise, because I tend to write those kind of more mellow and sad songs per se. So this song was really fun to write. And it's a bit of a departure from what I'm used to, but I just love writing it. And I think going forth, I'm going to write some more happy songs because, as you said, it just has a really kind of fun and confident, empowering energy. And I think we all need that in this crazy time.
Definitely can agree. It's not only just being locked up within someone's house, but being cut off from relationships and otherwise, maybe some people have lost a little bit of that confidence. So it's always good to remember that, you know what? I'm still that hot thing, you know?
Yeah, exactly. No, for sure. I love that.
Awesome. So earlier we mentioned that you have signed with Universal. So with this process, with these singles and everything else, what has it sort of been like to be working with this group? Because as we all know, it's a music business, it's a music industry. So what have they sort of brought to the table? What have they helped you learn that maybe you weren't applying to your own music career before?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think along with obviously having that label um, helping us with like distribution, my team in general has really just grown in terms of like PR and marketing and a social person. So I think collectively it's been a growing experience and it's been so incredible to have people believe in me. Because it's one thing for me to believe in myself and for like my family or my friends to believe in myself. But when you can have this collective team of people who have that same vision and same kind of end goal, it's it's really cool and it's really amazing. So, I mean, I guess I've learned like teamwork makes the dream work.
Well, and that teamwork also allows you more time to focus on creating the artwork, which is very important.
Absolutely, which is, yeah, so important. I think it's easy to get caught up in the whole business thing sometimes or social media and stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm here because I love music and I love writing music. So that's all that really truly matters.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's at the end of the day, like we said, it is a music business, but it's still music is therapy. Music is about getting your emotions out. It's about expressing yourself, and that's part of what's beautiful about it, right?
Totally. So well said. Yes, I agree.
Awesome. So you decided to self-title this album. Is that just sort of because it's more of a reintroduction of Olivia Lunny to the world? What was the decision to go behind a self-title?
Yeah, I think that's it exactly. I've never obviously released like a full length album, and it seems fitting because this is me in the truest form and in the longest form that people have really seen before. So it's yeah, Olivia Lunny, Olivia Lunny. This is me. This is my music, and I'm so excited to finally release it soon.
Awesome. And I'm sure that the fans cannot wait as well. I mean, by the time they're hearing this interview, they've probably already heard it, but I'm sure they can't wait. And I'm sure that they also love the visual aspects to this album. Some of the incredible music videos that you've been releasing, the incredible photo shoots you've been doing too. So, what has it been like, sort of, to craft that visual side of this album?
Yeah, it's honestly just been so fun, and again, I think it's been just so cool and inspiring to slowly level that up and then work with the stylist and work with different photographers that I'm used to. So it's been a collective kind of level up and challenge in the best way possible. But I'm super excited with the visuals we're getting and lots of color and stuff like that. So I'm very pumped. I'm very excited.
A lot of high fashion as well. So, does that sort of excite you too?
Yeah, I think fashion is something I've always been very passionate about, but didn't necessarily know how to kind of try to explore that next level. So with the amazing stylist I've been working with, Lynn Allison, she's based out of LA. She's really been working with me and kind of pushing me to have more fun with that. So shout out to her because it's been so great.
Okay, awesome. Shout out because, like we said, teamwork makes the dream work, and having an image is an important part of music inside of this social media age for sure.
Yeah, totally.
All right. So, of course, we are recording this before the album drops. So, since we're in the anticipation of this release, what is it like? What is the feeling like to sort of go and finally release your first full length album here out into the world?
Yeah, it almost feels, I don't want to say relieving, but you kind of keep the secret for so long and you hear these songs over and over and over. So it is relieving and cathartic and just very exciting to finally let people hear it and let them pick their favorite song. Because I have my favorites, but everyone ends up picking their favorite song. But I think there's something on this album for everyone, whether it's like a ballad or it's an upbeat pop song. There's some kind of vast variety throughout it.
Okay, fantastic. Awesome. And I love that variety as well. And it's very exciting that we might be able to take that variety to the live stage soon, potentially here this year. So, are you excited for that potential to return to the stage to present these songs to the fans?
Yes, oh my goodness, I've been missing that so much, and I've done some virtual stuff, but obviously it's so different when you can just connect with people and you can look out and people are singing your lyrics or they're just locking eyes with you. I definitely miss the whole social element this past year, whether it's being on stage or even just seeing friends. So crossing fingers, soon we can get back to that.
Okay, okay. Sounds good. And I hope so as well. Hopefully, I can be in one of those crowds too. Hopefully.
Absolutely. I hope so too. It'd be great to meet you in person.
I mean, after two of these chats here, I mean, it's always a good feeling to eventually meet people in person because nothing matches that in-person energy.
I totally agree, for sure.
All right, Olivia. Well, I have had a fantastic time reconnecting here. I have one last question. Are you ready for it?
Ready, let's do it.
All right. So we've talked about your progression as a musician through this year, signing with Universal Music, going into this new album. So what I would like to know is through this process, how has it helped you grow as a person, or what has it helped you learn about yourself?
Wow. I think in combination with this musical progression, along with this time through lockdown and quarantine, I've just really been forced to look inward and kind of boil down to the basics and, take care of my health, take care of how much sleep I'm getting, drinking enough water. I think all this chaos has just really taught me to take care of myself, and I've had the time to take care of myself. So I would encourage everyone to do that because it's underrated. Getting an 8 hour sleep is the best thing ever.
Well, I mean, especially for one's vocal cords, right? I mean, it's very, very important. And as you say, self care, especially after a year like the year that we've had, it's maybe some people haven't been taking as much time, even though some of us have more time. Maybe we haven't taken that time. So it's an important lesson. It's an important thing to hear for sure.
Definitely. But thank you so much for having me, and it was so great to connect again. Hopefully we can do this again in another year.
I hope so as well. Thank you, Olivia.
Have a good one. Thank you.